நம்முடைய தமிழ் மொழி உலகிலேயே மிகவும் தொன்மையான மொழி எந்த தேசத்திடம் இருக்கின்றதோ அந்த தேசத்திடம் பெருமிதம் பொங்க வேண்டுமா கூடாதா சொல்லுங்க.
செம்மொழி வலையொலி யூடியூப் சேனல். இந்த சேனலின் மூலமாக, அந்த வலையொலியின் மூலமாக பல்வேறு தகவல்களை தினந்தோறும் நாங்கள் வழங்கி கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த நிலையில் சிலப்பதிகாரம் என்ற தலைப்பில் ஒவ்வொரு பகுதியாக வழங்கக்கூடிய அந்த தொகுப்பை முழுமையாக கண்டு பார்க்கலாம்.
Vanakkam. It is with immense pleasure that I am interacting with you all to the Central Institute of Classical Tamil's Multimedia Center. The topic that I have chosen for today is leadership lessons from Thirukural. It's actually very interesting. What makes a leader and who is a leader? And that is a debate which has been going on for hundreds of years. Like, does leadership position come from power, from money, from authority, or from having education, expertise, or a combination of one or all? It has been a debate for sure. And for thousands of years, there have been researchers, philosophers, poets who have been talking about what makes an individual a leader. What makes it, for sure, it's a question, right? And Thiruvalluvar, over 1,000 years ago, has written the world famous Thirukural, a collection of 1,330 verses or couplets. And how come leadership is related to Thirukural? Leadership now, in the age of artificial intelligence. It's interesting that some of these Thirukurals still stand, have withstood the test of time and still hold true. Leaders, managers, entrepreneurs can still refer to these famous couplets, these philosophies which come up from these Thirukurals, and still get guidance from them. So back to leadership. We were asking about what makes a leader, right? Leader, are they born? Are they created? Or are they nurtured by society, by the environment in which they are groomed? Thirukural is divided into 3 sections. One of them is Porutpal. It has got a few hundred couplets which talk about how a leader, how an individual can lead. It's about governance, it's about politics, it's about how we can organize things. And I have taken a few pillars, a few inspirational thoughts from this section of Thirukural, Porutpal, and I have built this, the triangle, the triad of leadership. And from this we have formed this basic triad of leadership. Any person, any individual who possesses one or all of these 3 traits can definitely be a leader. It is possessing the right attitude, taking the right decisions, and building the right team. So these 3, possessing these 3 traits will make an individual an effective leader. And what are these? In any organization, we have got multiple layers. We have got the first level managers who interact with the employees directly. We have got middle level managers. They are the business leaders. They interact with the senior leadership, they interact with the first level managers, and seldom with the employees directly. And we have the top executive leaders, the executive officers, we have got chief financial officers, entrepreneurs. They are the true executives, top executives. And they interact with the public. They are the brand, the face of the organization, they are the brand. And in all of these different levels or layers of leaders, they are primarily managers. And they manage the people below them, the team below them. But how can these managers rise up to the level of the leaders? That's what we are going to see in today's session. The first will be the possessing the right attitude. So what is this right attitude? Right attitude means possessing the value system. It can be being benevolent, being kind, being able to discern right from wrong, being able to stand up for what you think is right, being courageous. All of this and many more are the essential traits that every leader must possess. The first couplet that is really very close to my heart and which will be very apt here is from the chapter Irai Maatchi, the greatness of a king. Anjamai, ஈகை, அறிவு, ஊக்கம் இந்நான்கும் எஞ்சாமை வேந்தார்க்கு இயல்பு. What are these? Fearlessness, liberality, wisdom and being proactive are the main traits for a leader. That's what this Thirukural says. And how true is that even for this changing situation, no? Changing organizational dynamics. What is essential now? We have to be fearless. Stand up for what you think your values are and stand up for your team. Be able to defend them in terms of crisis. And we have situations here happening around the world where organizations are in dire straits. We are not sure whether they are able to be surviving, the next pandemic, the next economic downturn. In these situations, we need a fearless leader, a proactive leader who is able to take decisions proactively, who is able to step up and help his team, help society around him or her. One more Thirukural which comes in this situation and which helps in understanding the kingly, the traits of a true leader is Kaachik Eliyan Kadunchollan Allanel Meekurum Mannan Nilam. And this shows how a leader has to be easily approachable. And this will make the team relationships much more conducive. A leader who is able to talk freely, communicate, interact with his or her team members when they have any issues, when they are going through any tough challenges. And if the leader is giving them the right space to approach, that will be the true mark of a leader. And this couplet, though was written like thousands of years ago, is still very much relevant in today's scenario, where employees are suffering through burnout, through immense stress coming from maybe deadlines, from projects, from n number of different situations arising for them. And to have a leader who is easily approachable, who is kind, who understands, will make a huge difference in their lives. And the next is about learning. We spoke about for right attitude, we need to have, possessing the right attitude means being kind, being approachable. The other facet of having the right attitude is having the thirst for learning. And how will that work? Why should a leader learn? But learning will give rise to wisdom. So this Thirukural, which is very famous, tells about the need for wisdom. தொட்டனைத்து ஊரும் மணற்கேணி மாந்தர்க்கு கற்றனைத்து ஊரும் அறிவு. It means that the more you learn, the more a leader learns, upskills, equips themselves with new skills, new abilities, their wisdom increases. And why is wisdom very important for a leader? That's an interesting question. That's a question that has to be answered for sure. Because a leader is someone who has to work with multiple stakeholders, not just his or her team members, but with the top leadership, maybe with the public, with the community, society at large, with the public, the press. He or she must have good public relation skills, must be able to discern the right advice from the not so right advice. So how will they be able to discern, differentiate between the right step or the not so right step? That will come only from wisdom. Wisdom need not necessarily come from experience also. It also comes from learning, from knowing things, from knowledge. And that's what this couplet says. தொட்டனைத்து ஊரும் மணற்கேணி மாந்தர்க்கு கற்றனைத்து ஊரும் அறிவு. The more a leader learns about himself, about the world around them, about the work that they're actually doing, their wisdom also flows. Just like an ever-flowing water spring, natural water springs. The other is also about the possession of knowledge. It comes from the Adhigaram, Arivudaimai. How having the knowledge, the right knowledge helps a leader. And Thirukural talks about Mannan, Arasan a lot. And all of this can be attributed to a leader in the present generation. How will that work? எப்பொருள் யார் யார்வாய் கேட்பினும் அப்பொருள் மெய்ப்பொருள் காண்பதறிவு. Let's take for an example a leader, maybe a team manager, a project manager, And for the delivery of a project, he or she will get the counsel, advice of his or her team members. They'll be having discussions, and mentors will give some ideas. His or her peers will give a few ideas. Their managers in turn will give ideas. But you must be able to discern, differentiate between these advices. You must have the wisdom to know the truth between all of these spoken and unspoken words. It's very easy to be swayed by advices which might not always be beneficial for us. So in those situations when these advices sometimes seem very interesting, might or even seem appropriate, might even seem the right step, might not always be the right step to take in the long run. So having the true vision, a long term vision to take it up, to see over a very long term, to see where this action of mine will have the consequences in the long term. That wisdom has to be there. And how will I get that wisdom? A leader will get that wisdom by knowing the right and wrong in every advice he or she gets from the team. எப்பொருள் யார் யார் வாய் கேட்பினும் அப்பொருள் மெய்ப்பொருள் காண்பதறிவு. This is about the first pillar that we discussed now, possessing the right attitude. It means having the true value system, being courageous, being understanding, knowing the right from the wrong, and having the quest for learning. All of this will have the right attitude, and this right attitude will be one of the pillars that constitute a true leader in any organization or even for an individual. And leader is not someone who manages people. A leader is someone who influences people. And how do we influence people? Is it by authority? Is it by scolding, shouting, or by threatening? No, that can never be a leader. A leader is someone who influences by inspiring people to follow him or her. So how does this inspiration come? By set of traits like a right attitude and by right decision making. And why decision making is very crucial, and it's very surprising and stunning actually that Thiruvalluvar has written these couplets thousands of years ago, which still are applicable now for the decision making of this era of artificial intelligence and technological advances. How? What is decision making? We have a challenge, we have an issue, we have a problem, and we have to address that problem. And for that problem, we'll have solutions. Do we have just one solution for a problem? No, we have multiple solutions for a problem. And we have all of these multiple solutions. How do we decide which solution is the best for me? How do I choose that right solution? And for that, having a leader who takes good decisions, the right decisions at the right time, they would make a huge difference for the success of an organization as well as the team. How will that happen? What are the benefits of good decision making? A manager or a leader who wants to become a leader needs to take the right decisions. And what are the benefits of taking the right decisions? Definitely, you will be able to achieve the objectives that you have set out for yourself, for your team, and for the organization. Achieving objectives is the first advantage. The second will be building credibility. Taking consistently good decisions. What will happen by taking consistently good decisions? You will be able to build credibility for yourself. A leader who takes consistently good decisions, the right decisions, will build credibility. And with this credibility, you will be able to be receiving new projects, new deliverables, able to achieve more and more of your organization's goals. And the end result will be attracting the right persons who want to be part of your team. The decision making will also come by enhancing team collaboration. What is team collaboration? If you have the right decision making abilities, you will be able to build a team where people want to work together, want to collaborate together, and through collaboration you will be able to foster innovation. By having new thoughts, new perspectives from different team members, we'll have innovation, we'll be able to foster creativity. And new perspectives will always give a new dimension to any topic that we are discussing, any problem at hand or any challenge that we have to navigate through. The next is, as we keep taking decisions, as we keep making decisions, one more trait, the benefit of that is we will be able to make faster decisions as the time progresses. It's called being agile. This is a very new, concept that has been taking the rounds in the organizational circles, being agile. And right decision making will be able to improve the agility of the team as well. Because taking more and good decisions, the right decisions will make the team more adaptable. The decisions can be learning new skills. It can be approving a project, can be taking up a project. It can be making minor changes in what you're going to deliver. And for a team to be consistently taking good decisions, being agile means able to be adaptable to new challenges, to new situations, mean being agile. And decision making will in turn improve agility of a team. The next is personal growth and development. The right decision making might also influence the growth and development of both the individual and that of the team. The decisions can be as simple as letting a team member take a couple of days off so that he or she can work on certification to upskill themselves. So this a few days off might mean overwork for the rest of the team members, but in the longer run, it will mean an expert person who is going to contribute to the betterment of the team. So able to take these long-term decisions and able to calculate what will help and what will not help in the longer term, being able to weigh is an important trait for a good decision maker. And whenever we have a team, when we're talking with stakeholders, we'll have conflicts for sure. So how will a leader navigate these conflicts? That is very interesting actually. How will a leader navigate the conflicts? Because whenever we have people from different backgrounds, from diverse backgrounds, come up together and work for a particular cause together to be a part of a team, it's inevitable that conflicts arise. But how are these conflicts resolved? That makes a crucial part of what's going to happen next. By resolving the conflicts in an amicable way, by taking unbiased decisions is very important. If there's any bias, it might lose credibility, the other team members might feel betrayed, and they might not contribute as much. The optimal contribution will not be there. That in turn will be detrimental for the effectiveness of the team. So all of these together will form good decision making. Being proactive, being able to have the ability to discern from the right and the wrong, able to analyze the pros and cons of every solution that we have got, and after thorough analysis, taking the right solution, and also ensuring that we have the contribution, the collaborative effect from all the team members when you're taking a decision, so that there is more accountability from every one of them, and also ensuring that the conflicts are resolved, there is less bias. All of this will form the traits of a good decision maker, which again contributes to an effective leadership. And this kural comes from the Adhigaram Therinde Seyal Vagai. It's acting after deliberate consideration or due consideration. Azhivadum avadum agi vazhipayakkum ஊதியமும் சூழ்ந்து செயல். This is actually very interesting. When a leader is going to take any action, any decisions, he or she should reflect what will happen, the consequences, the pros and cons of a particular decision. This is a summation of whatever I have discussed before that contributes a good decision making. And this has been told thousands of years ago by Thirukural. Whenever you are going to take a decision, ensure that you know what is going to be lost. Not just what is going to be gained after cheat, but also know what is going to be lost and what is going to be gained, the consequences, and also the ultimate the gain or the long-term benefit of particular decision, and then take an act or then take your actions, make your decisions. So all of this come under this particular kural. The other is தெரிந்த இனத்தோடு தேர்ந்தெண்ணி செய்வார்க்கு அரும் பொருள் யாதொன்றும் இல். This is about collaborative decision making. This tells about the power of collaborative decision making. I am repeating this again because it is so important, crucial to know how Thirukural has stressed the importance of collaborative decision making. Whenever a leader has to take decisions, apart from reflecting on these decisions, also take the counsel of your well-wishers and then take the decision. That's a தெரிந்த இனத்தோடு, தெரிந்தெண்ணி செய்வார்க்கு அரும்பொருள் யாதொன்றும் இல். Nothing is impossible to achieve if you take the due counsel of the right people and then take the decisions. And the other one is my favorite. This tells about there is an analysis that many organizations perform very frequently. It's called the SWOT analysis. It's your strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats of a particular organization. Knowing all of this or a particular situation will help us make decisions. So what organizations do is they make a list of all the strengths that they possess, all the opportunities where they can next emerge in their markets, and then their weaknesses. The weakness can be not having a diverse team. The weakness can be lack of finances, lack of budget. It can be lack of experience. And then threats. T is threats. Threats is what are the competitors? Who are my competitors? Is it going to be new government regulations? Is going to maybe government sanctions, increase in taxes, or there's going to be competition from my competitors, rival companies. And strengths. Yes, again I'm repeating. Strengths is what is my core strength? I might be creative. I might have a better supply chain. I might have a very good logistics team, and I am very good in R&D. I get very innovative products out in the market the fastest time. These are all my strengths. And this Kural tells beautifully about this. Vinay valiyum, tan valiyum, matran valiyum, tunai valiyum, tukki seyal. It's for a particular action. I'm going to take, for example, I might be taking a decision on a particular task at hand. It's going to be a very prestigious task at hand, very important, critical for my organization. And for this task, I must know what are the strengths needed to perform that particular task. I must have that in mind, and I must know what strengths do I possess and what strengths does my team possess and the strengths of my competitors. So do a match of all of this and then find the gap. So Vinay valiyum, tan valiyum, matran valiyum, tunai valiyum, tukki cheyal. How powerful is this? So before you take any action, before you're going to accomplish a particular task, know the strengths that is required for an individual to perform that particular task. And do you possess that? Does your team possess that strength? The skills and abilities needed? Do you possess that required knowledge, the expertise? And what about your enemies? So only once you have all of these data information in hand, then you can accomplish or start accomplishing or planning for that particular task. The next is about the decision making time. Like we have said, taking the right decision is important, but also taking the right decision at the right time is very important. This takes me back to the pandemic times when many businesses went under. They got bankrupt. They were not to be heard of ever again. But many businesses became unicorns. They became huge successes. They become household names because of the pandemic. How did they capture that? By taking the right decisions at the right time. I'm repeating it again, by taking the right decisions at the right time. And how will this time factor contribute? I can take the decisions, the right decisions, but if not the right time, I might be too late to capture the public's interest, or I might be too slow, and my competitors have got the project already at hand before in the market, which means my product has become old. It's no longer new or innovative. So taking the right decision at the right time is a huge factor which plays the success of many organizations. And that's what is telling by this Adhigaram, Kalam Aridal, knowing the fitting time. Nyalam Karudinum Kaikudum, Kalam Karudi Idathar Chain. Taking a decision is important, but what is more important and what will help you achieve the task, achieve your goals and vision is taking the right time at the right place. And we have seen the two sections of the effective leader, which is possessing the right attitude, the value system. The other is having good decision making skills. Good decision making skills also, the parts of the facets of good decision making skills, the elements of good decision making skills is taking the right decision at the right time, the ability to weigh in the pros and cons, the consequence of your particular action before taking those decisions. And with this, we are coming to the third pillar of effective leadership, which is your team, building the right team. And for a leader, why is having the team important? That is actually very interesting nuance, that we have to look into. Why should a leader have the team? Why can't a leader function alone? Which is totally possible, right? But for a leader to be more effective, to be more successful, for sustained success of a leader, possessing the right team is very important. And how do I, as a leader, build the right team? We have got Thirukural to help us, to guide us through this also, building the right team. And what makes the team right team? You must have people who are competent. You must have people who are capable. You must have in your team employees who are ethical, who take the right decisions, whom you are able to delegate the task to. Because in your team, they must also rise up to be leaders in the future. So you are not having just a team, you are also having a team of future leaders, and they are seeing you, they are observing you, and they are getting inspiration from you. So the way that a person acts will inspire the team. So how do you build the right team? By careful selection of the right people, by showing no bias, by being impartial, by being ethical, and by also consulting with them while taking decisions. These are all will help us build the right team. One more facet of having the right team is that we must have the mentors. Any leader must have inspiration from other noble leaders. And whenever we talk about leaders, we have got many amazing examples. We have got Abdul Kalam, who tells about how in one of his interesting stories he mentioned that their project failed. And when their project failed, what they did was the leader took it upon himself that this entire project failure is on me. And when the project eventually succeeded after a couple of years, the leader pushed his team members to the front and stood back and empowered the team members to take the credit for the success of this project. This was an example, anecdote told by Abdul Kalam in one of his interviews about true leadership, about standing back and empowering the team. And what happens if you have a truly empowered team, the right team beside us? That is the biggest strength for any leader, possessing the right team. This Kural tells that அரணறிந்து மூத்த அறிவுடையார் கேண்மை திறனறிந்து தேர்ந்து கொள்ளல். When a leader understands the mentors, associating and seeking the advice or counsel of mentors who are more mature, who possess the wisdom and the knowledge and the expertise, is the primary importance for any leader. And having such mentors in your team or in an immediate counsel, in your circle. So whenever I'm talking about the team, it's not just the team reporting to the leader, it can also be the immediate circle of the leader. Possessing these people in your circle, in an immediate circle, having the good counsel of having the right mentors who can guide you, who are selfless, that is very important. Having the right people who have the expertise, who have the knowledge and wisdom to impart for you, that is very important. The other Thirukural is also tells this, சூழ்வார்க்கண்ணாக ஒழுகலான் மன்னவன் சூழ்வாரை சூழ்ந்து கொள்ளல். And what does that mean? It means that if you are inspired by someone, if you like someone and their attitude, their expertise, their wisdom inspires you, they are your prospective mentors, and having such people near you in your counsel is very important. Having them around you will help you succeed, will help you achieve your goals in the longer run. And one more interesting facet about Thirukural is that it has to withstand the test of time. How come someone had told something thousands of years ago and it has stood still even when we have the teams in it, we are dispersed teams. The teams are not like we are meeting everyone at every day from 9 to 5. No, things have changed. They have become very much blurred. Sometimes it has been months that a manager does not even meet his or her teammates and they just join online. Everything happens online, and then they meet online for their everyday discussions and meetings and their work, and then a person even quits online without even seeing each other in person ever. So in these kinds of times, these kinds of teams, and the teams are dispersed, they're not physically present near each other, They only see each other a few hours a day on online discussions when sometimes the camera is not on. So you just have the voice of a person to relate to the face of a person. And we have also teams where they are from different cultures, from different languages, different countries, different time zones. So in all of these challenges, how do we have the right person? And we have Thirukural in our, to guide us through this also. Gunam nadi, kutramum nadi, avatrul migai nadi, mikka kollal. So when I'm hiring someone, when I'm going to have someone's counsel near me in my immediate circle, I need to consider the person's, any individual's good qualities, any individual's shortcomings, and then I need to judge whether this person is right fit for me to be in my team or not. So having the wisdom to judge that. Gunam nadi, kutramum nadi, avatrul migai nadi, mikka kollal. And in a team to be truly collaborative, to be truly cohesive, for a team to be effective, must have a truly cohesive team where they stand up for each other. Not just the leader standing up for the team members, but the team members standing up for each other. So in these situations, a leader can exist positively in the minds or the eyes of his or her team members only if he or she does not show bias or discrimination. So where will this bias and discrimination come from? It's very common, right? When we interact with people, we have an immediate affinity towards someone who speaks our language, who comes from the same place as us, who has had from the same college, have the same alumni from your same institution. So all of this will give us a sense of association, attachment with these individuals. And is bias and discrimination good for our team? Many times definitely not, because by doing that you are sometimes encouraging incompetent employees and many times distancing yourself from competent and effective, efficient employees from your team. How do we work around that? Kadanmai kanda arivariyat terdal pedamai yellam tarum. What does that mean? This is a very like a warning given by Thiruvalluvar for us. To choose ignorant, incompetent employees is the biggest partiality. I am choosing them just because I am partial towards them, and that might be the biggest mistake for any leader, to choose someone through partiality, through just being biased towards them. And the other is about Thirindu Vinayadal, which is selection and employment of the right team for me. This comes from the Adhigaram Thirindu Vinayadal, and this tells about this kural, which is very interesting. Nanmayum Teemayum Nadi Nalam Purinda Tanmayan Alapadum. And a leader should employ in her immediate circle the team members or people who know, who are able to discern from the right and the wrong in the situations around them. And those kind of people, having those kind of efficient and knowledgeable people who have the experience, the expertise, is the biggest strength for a particular team. The other is about micromanaging, and which is in this generation. I am in my association with many organizations, with many leaders and employees also. I have seen a very constant complaint from the employees that my manager is constantly asking me what my work is. He has given me the task, I am going to do the task, I am going to deliver it effectively as per my knowledge. They have been employed to do this. But why is my manager constantly asking me, where am I at, when will it be delivered, what status of my particular project? So this is very annoying for the employees. And this is a scenario which is at present experienced by the employees of this generation. And we have got advice from Thirukural thousands of years ago, which is still relevant for the leaders now. This tells, இதனை இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். So this is, I was very surprised, actually shocked, you can even say, on hearing this, on seeing this Thirukural. How can this be so relevant for today? This tells about micromanaging. If a leader knows that this task can be done by a particular employee, by a particular individual, you are giving this task, delegating this task, after knowing that this person is eligible, can do that particular task, then leave it to that person to finish it. That's avankan vidal, avankai vidal. So this is very interesting to know that micromanagement cannot work. Once you trust someone to do a particular task, you should empower them and they will be accountable, they will take ownership and the task will be done. We need not micromanage on that. And the last kural that I would like to discuss for today's session is Vinay Nadia Pindrai Avanai Adarkuriyanaga Cheyal. And this is one of the very interesting theories, management theories you can even say, which has been in practiced by organizations for the past several decades, is the person job fit. Ensuring to hire or employ a person, once you know if that person is fit for a particular job, will make our work much more easier, because the training cost will reduce. A person, once he or she is fit for the job, will be a better performer and might remain in the company for a longer duration. And we have got this school which will lead us on this. Vinay Kurime Nadia Pindrai Avanai Adarkuriyanaga Cheyal. Once you have decided that this person is particular for will be a good fit for a particular task, we have to train them. And a well-matched candidate not only performs the task effectively, but also contributes positively to the team and the company's culture. And with this, I would like to end my session on leadership principles from Thirukural. Having the right attitude, taking the right decisions at the right time, and building an amazing team. And how do you build an amazing team? By not showing bias, by picking up the right people for the right job, and by not micromanaging, and by empowering the team to make their own decisions, by collaboratively making decisions with them, and by also having the mentors who will guide the leader to take the right decisions. Thank you everyone. Vanakkam.